Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. This is Jennifer. Guys, welcome back to my sewing room. I'm doing something I almost never do and re-recording because my first video was completely out of focus. So I'm hoping I don't forget to tell you guys anything. First up, we are sitting on this side of my sewing room. Because I did not work on my half square triangles last week. I have had a lot of adulting going on, just like appointments and phone calls and all that kind of fun stuff that just been that kind of month really. And like I'm negotiating with a roofer right now, that kind of thing. So lots of fun grown-up stuff that we don't need to talk about here. I did get to go thrifting this weekend because I had my big Austin Creative Reuse donation from when I did a bunch of cleaning out recently, and I have lots of walkway over here now where I had just lots of paper bags full of stuff ready to go, and it was great to move those things on, so hopefully move them on to someone who needs them. And I did find some fun things for me as well. I picked up some bias tape, I picked up some notepads, which I use all the time. I'm a big scratch pad person. I have them all over at every station where I work, on my desk, by my sewing machine, on my cutting table. I have one in the kitchen, I have one in the bathroom. I'm a big scratch pad person. So those are like $1/4 a piece. So I get them from ACR so that when I'm done with them, I recycle and we're good to go and I start all over again. I found this fun little Raggedy Ann and Andy pattern. I've kind of been collecting all the ones that I didn't already have, and I definitely did not have this one. It's for a draft dodger, so you can see how they are doing the splits here. So they're actually just their legs are heavier, so they have something heavier on them like walnut shells or rice or something like that to keep the draft from under the door from blowing in. So that's the whole point of that. Not really something I would have in my house, but I think they're really cute. It does make me wonder about the super long legs that was on Abby's Raggedy Ann that I repaired a couple years ago. I picked up a few things to kind of elevate my manicure area in my bathroom. So I've been kind of doing like a cut glass thing, and I found a few things I'm very excited about. So I got 3 of these little bottles with droppers in them, and I've already cleaned these out. I've washed them with soap and water and then cleaned them out with alcohol. They don't have a weird smell or anything. So my plan is like maybe one full of acetone, because occasionally I just need a little bit. And the little push top on the plastic one I have, I like it, but it's not always convenient. So I thought this might work. And then I've already put my cuticle oil in one of these. And I found this little guy for 50 cents. I had been looking for something like this. I suspect it's a candle holder or similar, but it's exactly what I wanted because I wanted a little glass palette that I can use for nail art. That way, if I want to put a little nail polish on there, I can clean it off with acetone and it will not hurt the glass. Same thing with this guy. I'm pretty sure this was a dry erase board. It's got like the white on the back. This was $1 and it is glass. So same thing, just this is literally just for me to work on top of. I've actually been using the back of an old Cricut mat, which has been working really well, but it is plastic, and so the acetone will eat away at it, and I don't want to get that on myself or create fumes or anything like that, so having glass is just a better option for me. The other thing that I got was a baggie full of parts left over from diamond painting, and I've already gone through it and sorted out everything I'm not going to keep, and what I am going to keep are all these little sparklies left over. I didn't keep any of the matte colored ones or the less sparkly ones, I guess. And this is an empty nail tip thing from the Kiss press-on nails that I was using previously. And this is perfect. It's all I need. And the whole bag cost me $1. It also came with about 6 of these, and I'm only going to keep 2 of them. But I saw a video where they were using all kinds of little rhinestones and just little plastic doodads and putting them on their manicure, and I thought that would be a great way to try that without a lot of investment. I did have an afternoon last week to myself, and I did a little bit of nail practice. So my husband 3D printed this little guy that has 10 little pegs so you can do your nail art and that kind of thing. These are my leftover press-ons that were from sets that I used and I didn't use all of. So what I did was I painted them all, I painted all of these white, and then I just was practicing nail art on top. So these two, I used what's called blooming gel on. So it's like a layer you put on top of your color, and then whatever you put on top of it spreads so it blooms. And so that's these two. I was trying to do roses. And then these three, I decided to practice stamping. So if you look up like Maniology, and I'll put a link in the description, you can see all kinds of really cool nail stamping where they use like a special nail polish to make stamps for nails. And you do it like on a little silicone cube. And advanced stamping is more than one color at a time, and that's what I was playing with here. So like I did the black first, and then I painted in the green, and on the little crab I did the black first and painted in the red, and then on the little jellyfish I did like a metallic blue first, and then I painted in a little bit of silver just to kind of get that. So I really enjoyed that. It was super fun. When I actually did my nails, I played with these two. So this is mostly what they look like, and then I stamped because I couldn't stop. I can't stop playing with this, guys. It has unlocked something inside of me, and I just couldn't stop playing with it. I stamped roses on top, and then on this guy I actually put a little butterfly sticker. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I've had so much fun with it, and I've gotten just a crazy amount of compliments. My primary care physician spent 5 minutes of my appointment last week making me break down how I did this. So that was really fun. And that's not the first time that's happened. So I really enjoyed it. And I hope you guys don't get bored of hearing about it, because I don't think I'm going to stop enjoying it anytime soon. And now I hope you've lasted this long, because this is one of the things I'm most excited sharing in this video. Sometimes you're looking for a project or you're feeling uninspired and something just falls in your lap. In my case, it fell in my backyard. So on Saturday, I went out to fill my bird feeders and check the bird bath and all that kind of good stuff. And there was something in my yard, and I was not sure. I thought it might be a rag, but I was afraid it might be something dead, because we do have a lot of birds of prey. So stay to the end for a little video of that. The morning after the clip at the end of this, I found this in my backyard, and I think that the two might be connected. So this little guy, this little pile of what looked like possibly something dead, but it ended up being a stuffed animal that had been ripped apart by talons. And I did find talon marks on the back of the plastic eyes in this little guy. And I took him inside, and I was going to throw him away. And I looked at him and I was like, you know, what have I done for my entire life? I have fixed things that shouldn't be fixed. So I decided that's what I was going to do. And I put him in a lingerie bag, and I washed him with an old towel. And once he was all dry, I just sat down and started figuring out how to put him back together again. And I spent a couple hours on Saturday doing that. I recorded the whole thing. So if it's something you want to watch, I will have it on YouTube in the next couple of weeks, depending on how much time I have to edit. After all of that, this is what I came up with. He is a cute little patchy elephant. I had to replace a leg and an arm because they were just beyond repair. One of his ears was completely missing, so I replaced that. The other ear was shredded at the top, so I fixed that front and back. And his little noggin was a real mess, and I got all that put back together. He has some fleece inside here just to fill in the hole of what was missing. And this was just fleece I had on hand. It was actually some leftover 2.5-inch strips that Amber sent me ages ago that I just put in my bag where I keep my fleece. And I decided it worked, so that's what I used. So I'm sure he doesn't look like he did originally. I removed all kinds of little shredded pink fabric from all 4 of his legs, what was left of these two, and then these two as well. I think he was probably a Valentine. Maybe he was holding a little heart here. We live close to an elementary school and close to a really big park. And so occasionally kids lose stuff or babies lose stuff. And I mean, I've rescued things before. I have looked a little bit and nobody has reported a missing plush elephant. So it could have been a dog toy. I don't know. But now he's all repaired. And because he was holding something, I decided he needed something else to hold. So I used some leftovers from my Christmas tree skirt and made him a little tiny quilt. Very last thing, guys, the lid broke on my Cricut, and I'm going to put a little video here. So the door that opens to the front like this, That door, the one that lays down flat, that has not worked in ages. It's not a problem. I just pull it down. But the top door now will not stay open. And I've been just kind of shoving a pencil in the joint to keep it open. And I just wondered if anybody knew anything about this or if they had a fix for this. I did a little bit of looking, but most of the broken doors that I found was not the same problem that I'm having. And my machine's way out of warranty, but the machine itself works beautifully, so there's no way I'm going to replace it just for that. But if I can figure out a way to fix it, I don't mind a visible repair, but I do want to be able to put my cover on it, and it's possible that I'll just take the lid off if that's what it comes to. But I wanted to throw it out there in case someone had a repair or a suggestion that I have not come across. So that is going to be it for me, guys. I hope you have time to yourself this week. I hope you have a safe place to rest and recuperate and craft. And that's it. You guys have a good week. Have a crafty week. And I'll see you next week. Bye.